Hello, Chief Kays with the Watauga Police Department.
Officer Rick Garcia, Watauga Police Department. I also serve as a paramedic supervisor for the city of Norman.
I've been asked to reach out to the community through a video by the City of Watauga Emergency Manager and Fire Chief Robert Doherty, and on behalf of the emergency response team that has been put together to combat the COVID-19 virus pandemic. Today, the City of Watauga signed a proclamation entering into a state of emergency so we can prepare for the virus. Signed by the mayor, it's on the city website. It's also posted on the City Hall door so we can gain access to the needed funding, equipment, and any assets that we may need here in Watauga. As of right now, there are no cases confirmed of the virus in Blaine County or Watauga, but it spreads rapidly across our state, and Officer Garcia is going to talk a little bit more about that here in a second. I want to mention you can go on to the Oklahoma State Department of Health website and look at the statewide executive orders that the governor has put out. Statewide, all 77 counties, the Safer at Home order is in effect till April 30th. Infected counties, all non-essential businesses have been affected by not being open. You can go on to the www.okcommerce.gov website and get a list of what non-essential businesses mean and what essential businesses mean. Statewide, all 77 counties, there should be no more than 10 gathering individuals. And if you're a non-essential business anyway, you should be taking preventative measures to not spread the virus any more than it has, because it's very dangerous. Everybody should be taking the preventative measures, whether it be personally or through your job, whether you're in an affected county or not. You want to go ahead and tell them
Sure.
how to prevent some ways?
This virus is spread by human contact. Anything like a sneeze or a cough can spread the virus. It seeks out mucosa such as your eyes or your mouth or your nose, and that's how it enters the body. So it's very important for you to cover your mouth whenever you cough or sneeze, wear a mask when you're around other people, keep your eyes protected with safety glasses, and that way the virus can never enter your body to begin with. That will prevent that part of the problem. The second part of the problem is spreading the virus. Even if you are not carrying the virus inside your body, you can still carry it on the outside of your body, such as your hands or your clothing, which is the reason why social distancing is so important. 6 feet minimum. Covered PPE. Some of the symptoms, if you're wondering if you possibly have COVID-19, would be a cough, difficulty breathing, or a fever. If you have those symptoms and you're concerned, the first step is to call your primary care physician. Talk to them, give them the heads up on what's going on, and ask for their direction over the phone. Don't go to your doctor's office. Just talk to them on the phone. Once you've talked to them, there's a hotline set up. You can dial 211 or 877-215-8336. That connects you to the COVID-19 hotline for the state of Oklahoma, and they will be able to do a referral since you've talked to your physician for you to be tested. The testing can be done at your local healthcare facility or hospital. If you have to get out, it's very important that you be precautious. Reasons to get out are going to be things like grocery shopping, going to the pharmacy to pick up your medications, that sort of thing. We're gifted in this town. We have a pharmacy that has a drive-through. use it. Call ahead of time and have them get it ready for you so that you're not waiting very long in the line. That helps out the pharmacy also. Make sure that if you do have to go inside a business, don't go to the grocery store every day. Try to go once a week. Try to go at times whenever it's not real crowded, and try to keep your distance from other people. Wash your hands thoroughly before you go. Keep hand sanitizer with you, and wash after you leave. And that way, anything you've come in contact with, such as touching some item in the store that someone else may have touched, you're not getting yourself infected or infecting other people, and you're stopping the virus. Healthcare facilities can expose you to this virus as well. Despite the fact that they try really hard to keep everything sanitary and clean, they can't help that people come in that have the virus on them and spread it around. So it's very important that you don't seek out healthcare unless you need to. Things like doctors' offices, hospitals, ambulances are all places where this virus can live. Even though steps are being taken to sanitize on a regular basis, it can still cause you to either pick up the virus or to spread it to someone else if you're a carrier.
That's another thing they need to be cleaning. All of us need to be cleaning surfaces that are touched or high traffic areas need to be sanitized frequently.
Absolutely.
And don't crowd the hospitals if you don't have the symptoms. If you don't have any symptoms, don't go get tested just because.
That's correct. Remember that healthcare facilities are very strained right now. So if you are going there, make sure that it is worth the visit and the time that it's going to take for them to see you and the time that it's going to take them away from other patients.
Yeah. Equipment is scarce. Testing is scarce. But tell them about OU or OSU.
So OSU has tests available. They can do up to 2,000, I believe, per day.
Over 2,000. The governor has allowed OSU and OU to conduct testing. I know OSU is ramped up and is saying that they can test over 2,000 people in one day. And there's been some drive-through testings set up. I think 4 right now and more to come. So
one of the things that they've done in Norman is they set up a drive-through clinic with primary care providers. If you thought you had symptoms, you drove through. They did a flu test for A and B. They tested you for RSV. They tested you for every other thing that could cause the symptoms of the coronavirus besides the actual COVID-19. And that way they could rule out that it wasn't one of those other things. And then from there, they made a recommendation for the state to recommend you to be tested. That has helped a lot because that's taken a lot of strain off the urgent cares and also the hospitals and the EMS service, because they're no longer having to take care of those people. They're taking care of themselves by seeking out help.
yeah, we're very fortunate not to have a case confirmed in Watauga or Blaine County yet, but there's some other places in the country that have been hit hard, and a lot of people are sick or have lost their lives due to this virus. That's why we urge these preventions, take these actions, and take it very serious. Urge you to.
Kind of back to the grocery shopping thing. If you have older parents or older neighbors or that sort of thing, help them out. Keep them from becoming exposed to this, because the older you are, the more susceptible you are, and the worse this virus can be on your body. Younger people are less susceptible and more likely to bounce back from it. So you still utilize PPE, but do grocery shopping for your parents and your grandparents or your elderly neighbors and that sort of thing, and let's come together as a community and help one another.
Absolutely. That's the thing, is everybody needs to come together to combat this pandemic. The businesses in Watauga, although have not been mandated, have done a really good job taking preventative measures. Some took the initiative right off hand to take the steps that they needed to without any type of executive order from the governor. I want to thank the chamber, Teresa France. She has started to put together a database of the businesses, the name, phone number, website, and hours, days of the week, and how they've changed how they operate already. So I want to thank her for that. Go on to her or the Chamber of Commerce Facebook page and put your business down, or gain access to this if you plan to go to a business to see how they're operating during this pandemic. There has been the Cherokee stop said that they would deliver to Watonga, and Pizza Hut has said they will start April 2nd delivering. A lot of businesses doing curbside, so you don't have to enter into the business and expose or be exposed. The chamber has also started a database for individuals to go on. If you go on their Facebook, you can provide your information in this database. It's going to ask for your name, email address, how many people are in the household, and if you have a shelter or will volunteer or have health issues pre-existing. And this will help if we need any volunteers or shelters or anything like that in the future to help with the businesses get stuff out to people, to get people stuff that they need. The last thing that I'm going to talk about is the storm shelters and how this is going to affect the storm shelters. The First Christian Church, 400 North Noble, First Baptist Church, 301 North Noble, the Watonga Grade School and the Watonga High School are the storm shelters that are on the list to open up in case of a tornado. The police department will open up the elementary school, the sheriff's office will open up the high school, and then the churches will man themselves. What we will do is when we open up the elementary school, we will have a police car with the lights on so you can find it. It's going to be, the shelter is going to be on the west side of the facility. You'll see the lights, and it will be when there's a tornado warning. Remember, the siren is sounded at the discretion of the emergency manager, the fire chief. But if there's a tornado warning in our area, we'll unlock it. Because of the virus, we will have a roster when you come in the door. We're going to ask you if you have any of the symptoms of the virus. That way we can maybe get you far enough away from anybody else in the shelter so you don't expose anybody possibly. We want you to get with your neighbor or anybody close to your home that has a storm shelter so we can reduce congregation inside, numbers inside the public shelters, and that way we can try to reduce spreading any of the virus possibly. So get with your neighbor or anybody close to your house that you could get to in case of a tornado warning and utilize their shelter. But if you need to go to one of the public shelters and you have a mask, gloves, or anything like that, we ask that you come as sanitized as you can and wear those things if you can, and just be prepared to enter into the tornado season as we combat this virus. So we're going to take those preventative measures. We ask you to take those preventative measures if you come to one of our shelters. Got anything to add?
No, sir.
That's it. So Don't know when we're going to do another video. We'll get with the emergency manager and see what he wants us to do. We meet every day at 11 and discuss the virus and update our leaders. And we're talking to people all across the state now. So we'll keep you updated.
Everyone, please be responsible and be safe.